Good afternoon mga ka-HR. Isang magandang hapon sa lahat ng ating mga ka-HR dyan na nakikinig, nanonood sa atin via YouTube, Facebook, at mga kasama natin ngayon dito sa Zoom. This year, talaga namang inumpisahan natin ang 2024 na pag-usapan natin, ano nga ba ang meron ngayon sa panahon ng digital na, AI na, at talagang maraming mga pagbabago. Kasi tayo ng mga HR is applicable tayo sa HR game changer. So let's start na po by sharing our screen. Please do assist me, Ma'am Razi. Share po na yung screen.
Shared na po already.
Yeah. Ano nga po ba ang HR Calabarzon? Ang HR Calabarzon po ay na-found last March 2020 at sa ngayon po ay meron na tayong 14,500 members. Next thing, please. Ang HR Calabarzon po is a non-profit organization na nakabase po sa Imus Cavite na meron na po ngayong almost 6,000 likes sa ating Facebook page. And we also have 14,500 members in our Calabarzon group. Sa lahat po ay iniimbitahan namin na kayo po ay mag-join sa amin via YouTube. Ang ating pong QR code ay makikita niyo po para makapag-join po kayo at pwede po kayo magtanong, mag-ask. And also, you could subscribe sa atin sa HR Calabarzon sa YouTube. General reminders po. Next po. General reminders po during the HR e-knowledge. The Zoom meeting room will be available 15 minutes ahead. Sorry po, hindi lang tayo nakapag-open agad. Talaga naman pong inyong lingkod medyo busy sa ngayon. We would like to ensure or request everyone to please ensure that your video is active and your audio is set to mute. Kindly place any question in the chat box on the YouTube or comment section in YouTube, Facebook Live, and Zoom chat box. Your complete attention and cooperation are requested to fully enhance our learning experience. Dahil sabi nga po natin, 2024 na ngayon. So may kakaibang tweak sa HR e-knowledge ng HR Calabarzon. Take note, the webinar is free of charge. Libre po ito. Wala po kaming hinihinging bayad sa inyo para po makinig at manood at malaman ang mga experiences ng ating mga speaker and panelists this afternoon. But if you would like to request an e-certificate, we will require a minimal fee of 50 pesos. 50 pesos pa rin po for attending per webinar. Please note that we do not entertain e-certificate requests via email or Facebook Messenger. Sa lahat naman po ng gusto kumuha ng e-certificate, ang e-certificate po, ulitin natin is 50 pesos. We will provide the e-certificate sa lahat po ng validated na nagbayad at nag-fill up po ng Google Form after 3 working days. After po ito, hindi po kasama ang Saturday, Sunday, and holiday. So kung ngayon po tayo nag-webinar, ang ating e-certificate ay matatanggap po natin on Thursday. We are requesting everyone to please ensure fill up your complete or full name with your first name, middle initial, and last name only. Please do check or validate your email address para po hindi siya mag-bounce back sa amin. Ang link o ang QR code po ay available sa comment section in YouTube, Facebook Live, and Zoom chat box. The link and payment is open until tomorrow, Sunday, and payment is non-refundable. Ang ating pong GCash number ay 0919-009-6339. You can scan or screenshot our QR code posted in your screen. Ang ating learning evaluation or e-certificate for this afternoon is ito po, ang ating QR code. We will post this after the event also. We would like to thank the following sponsor. For Medea, if you would like your part to have a strategic partner utilizing certification in identifying relevant business intervention, please do call them at 0917-521-4253 or email them at inquiries@formedeaph.com. Official uniform and other requirements for your office. They do customize bag printing services. You can call them at 0936-566-1609 or email them at bagstudio2014@gmail.com. We would like to thank Jacinto Olaybar Aircon Trading. If you need PMS sa inyong mga aircon sa office, please do call our official partner, Jacinto Olaybar Air Condition Trading. You can call them at 0917-815-9508 or email them at joe.aircontrading.ph@gmail.com. Siyempre, tayong mga nanay, hindi lang tayo nanay ng mga empleyado, nanay din tayo ng ating mga anak. If you have some party, kiddie party, you could contact us at Butterfly PD Salon. Get your girls ready for unlimited makeover. We have hair and makeup, nail art, face painting, and others. Please do call them at 0906-484-6339. Also, HR Calabarzon would like to thank Maxi Life. So if you need insurance, please do call our provider Maxi Life. For HMO and for HMO requirement, lalo na po ngayon 2024 na, syempre kailangan natin ng mga HMO. Please do call our Secure PH. And if you need something na kailangan niyo po ng broker or third party sa inyong lahat, hindi lang po wellness, hindi lang po health, and total rewards and benefits, please do call our wellness, health, and total rewards. And of course, syempre hindi mawawala, ang HR Calabarzon would like to invite everyone ng ating mga ka-HR dyan sa YouTube and Facebook Live to join us at next please. Yes, ma'am, next please. Next po. Ayan po, sa darating na Sabado, ang ating HR Business Partner Learning Series Batch 2 na nag-evolve to People and Culture, HR as a Game Changer. Last course 6, Making Succession Plan Works on February 3, 2024 from 2 o'clock p.m. to 5 o'clock p.m. Brought to you by Secure PH, Maxi Life, for Medea, Wellness, Health, and Total Rewards. Please do scan the QR code that you have seen in your monitor or your laptop or cell phone to join. This is only 336 pesos, guys. Kasi napakamahal po talaga ng Making Succession Plan Works. Especially, syempre, yung ating speaker is a senior business leader na talaga medyo pricey din ng konti. Pero dahil tayo ay mga taga-HR Calabarzon, she is giving this for a very minimal fee and discounted fee of 336 pesos. And next, please. At syempre, ang HR Calabarzon ay nag-planning na. Kung napapansin nyo, ang dami namin ngayon dito. Kaya abangan po ninyo ang ating mga HRE Knowledge Learning Series Calendar this 2024. Mga ka-HR, i-book nyo na, i-tag nyo na, i-calendar nyo na. February 10, sasamahan tayo ng mga taga-PhilHealth. On February 24, we will be having Pag-ibig HD Home Development Mutual Fund. We will be also having on March, Recruitment Strategic, and March 2024, Institutional Mental Health, Mental Wellness in the Workplace. While on April, we will also have recent guidelines from DOLE and HR Technology Advancement. On May 4, we will be having employee engagement strategies, managing workplace and conflict and office politics, while on June, we will be having adapting to challenge, changing legal irregularities, and strategic workforce. While on July, next please. On July po, magkakaroon tayo ng employee retention techniques. At abangan niyo po ang first HR Calabarzon Group Incorporated Online Summit 2024 for free. Free po yan. Free po yan para sa lahat ng ating mga ka-HR sa Calabarzon and North Luzon. And in August, data-driven HR decision making and employee branding strategies. While on September sa ating anniversary, we will be having employee recognition strategies and managing organization and employee performance. While on October, syempre, huwag po natin kakalimutan dahil October na, kailangan na po natin ng career pathing and development and succession planning best practices. And syempre, ang ating November, gagawin na official. November is always our HR Calabarzon face-to-face summit. So please block your calendar and see us on November 16, while ang ating last HRE knowledge for November is addressing burnout in the workplace. And for our very much thank you sa lahat ng mga nag-join sa atin sa HR Calabarzon. We will be having our third annual outreach in December 1. Next week. And today, para naman samahan ako, I would like to introduce our moderator and the corporate treasurer of HR Calabarzon. She has had the privilege of working in various HR roles, from a management trainee at International Container Terminal Services Inc. to, bago po siya, naging human resource at Basra Gateway Terminal in Iraq. Para naman kasi siyang Iraq beauty, di ba? Throughout her career, she has contributed to initiate such as developing and implementing HR policies, conducting competency-based interview, and leading induction process for new employees. She has also worked on establishing training and development plan to enhance employee skills and contribute to growth of the organization she has been a part of. She is now the HR head of Choose Your Choose Philippines and a member of the HRCC Board of Directors. Let's all welcome Ms. Maria Sumatcha. Hi, ma'am.
Hello, thank you, Neddy. Nice to be here today.
Ayan. And next, please. Please do the honor, Ma'am Maria, to introduce our speaker, our lead panelist this afternoon.
Okay, so hello, good afternoon. Ngayon medyo iba po ang iba po ang setup natin. So Mr. Gerardo or Jerry Plana, DPM, he's the chairman of the board of the Philippine Society of Training and Development. He's the chairman and chairman of the Corporate and Career Consultants Incorporated, Secretary, Board of Trustees, Asian Institute of Human Resource.
Good afternoon.
Sorry.
Magandang hapon sa lahat.
Okay, then Board of Trustee for People Management Association of the Philippines. Has a master's degree in business administration, graduate in Ateneo de Davao University, a graduate of economics in Ateneo de Davao University. His technical field of expertise are training and development, executive coaching, training management, talent management, operational assessment, instructional development, leadership and management development, Sir Jerry, performance management, succession management, business strategic planning, facilitation of training, investors in people consulting in terms of diagnosis and assessment against the standard is a UK-based measurement of good people practices. So he is currently with investors in people, and if you want to improve your people's leadership practices and their entirety, yes, you might want to get in touch with Investors in People at www.investorsinpeople.ph. We have Mr. Jerry Plana.
Also, we have our panelists, one of the panelists today. Medyo ano lang po ang ating panelist na to ngayon, chat messenger si ma'am because of some problem with her throat and she's currently in the hospital, and let's pray for her. Our next panelist is currently the head of human resource at International Justice Mission, an organization of Christian professionals who seek to end online sexual abuse of the children and forced slavery. She's been a member of various HR groups in the Philippines, sharing experiences and best practice in human resource. She was over 20 years of HR management experience in the humanitarian and international non-government organization. Also, another panelist is Ma'am Rowena Wawi Roque, a nurse by profession, but a people manager by devotion. Ma'am Wawi has been working as a human resource practitioner for the past 25 years. Huwag niyo na lang po itanong kung ilang taon na siya. Most part of which is again with the leading retail store in the country, where she spent first 20 years of her HR services. Prior to current employment, she spent 6 years with the leading motorcycle dealer in the Philippines, having the 6,200 workforce across Luzon and Visayas. She has 15 years of experience in training and development and around 10 years in HR generalist. So overall na pala talaga si Ma'am Wawi. Right now, she is handling special project for SM, retail affiliates, helping them in their business process improvement, customer service, and HR system. Let's all welcome our speaker, lead panelist, and our panelists, Ma'am Wawi, Ma'am Jamie, and Sir Jerry.
Everyone.
Good afternoon, everyone.
Ma'am Maria.
Okay, so let's start with the HR trends of 2024. Okay, like what I mentioned a while ago, this is going to be very different from all the e-learning sessions that our group has had, na meron deck and all that. Mr. Jerry would like to start it off with the panel discussion already, and I think this is more engaging. So, like what I mentioned in the Zoom chat, please do ask your questions. You hear something, may narinig ka, uy, oo nga, no, maganda yung ganito. Please do ask your questions. Either via Zoom chat or dun sa ating YouTube. You can also chat there. We are monitoring both medias anyway. So let's get started. So, Sir Jerry, thank you so much for joining us this afternoon. Lately, no, ang lamig. Kamusta po ba dyan sa inyo? Nasaan po ba kayo ngayon?
I mean, good afternoon, everyone. It's a pleasure to be here with you this afternoon. I'm in Santa Rosa. My home office is in Santa Rosa. So we're not really very far away from
Not very far away, yes, oo. Pero grabe, no? Nasa Pampanga po ako ngayon, pero ang lamig. Ngayon, nafe-feel ko yung Pasko.
That's right. Oh.
At alam niyo po kami nasa HR dito sa may dito sa may bandang norte. Parang sabi nga namin maski kakabigay lang po ng mga HR ng mga Christmas packages, Christmas goodies and all that. Pero feel pa rin ng Pasko. Pero ang lagi naming tanong, which kaya nga parang, uy, okay to, HR trends. Oo nga naman, maski anong budget natin nung last year for 2024. What do you foresee as the HR trends nga po ba in 2024 so far, sir?
Okay, siguro before I answer that question, let me just ground you where I'm coming from. para you can understand my perspectives. Right now, I had this organization called Investors in People. It's like the ISO for HR. Yan ang parang tawag sa amin. We are an accrediting organization for good practice. We assess and we recognize organizations for good practice. So like an ISO for HR. So I had that organization, and I've been doing that for the last 10 years now, almost 11 years. So given that, I've had the privilege of being exposed to many practices of organizations. So siguro what I'll share with you is my own radar in terms of where this experience is coming from, in terms of how do I see HR as we're going through 2024 and even beyond. No? Siguro the short answer to that question, and we can start to dive into this, I see three big bucket words that I think need to be discussed more when we talk about trends. The first big word is, or phrase is, employee experience. The second big word is culture. And the third big word is leadership. And how these three can interrelate with each other. In a way, para itong tatlong to, parang another way of looking at this is talent, organization, and leadership. So I think that's where I see it's not totally a new term, but I see a certain growing concern as we take a deep dive in our discussions later on, Maria. So that's how I see. We will still be talking about employee experience, but probably in a different way. We'll probably still be talking about culture in a different way because it's growing. More and more organizations are undertaking culture change programs. And because a lot of organizations are in a transformation mode. And of course, the key to all of this is our leadership. And the question that probably we need to ask there later on is, what are we doing about developing our leaders to be ready for this type of challenges? Yeah, Maria.
Yes, alam niyo po, tama po kayo. Pagdating po dun sa leadership, it's usually, that's the challenge so far na nakikita ko, especially where I'm coming from. Most of them rose from the ranks. They have the technical skill. Ang galing nila. Pero yung leadership parang kulang. And yet, unfortunately, sometimes, when we do exit interviews, personal reason po, mas malaman-laman ko, pag umalis na yung tao dahil yung leader niya, ganto, ganyan. And parang, yes, we do the out-of-the-box training and all that, na parang, off-the-shelf training na mga basic management programs and all that. So parang, hindi siya ganun ka-customized, na sana, mas parang, I wish it had more focus on, it had more focus on what, I don't know if this is the right word, parang minsan kulang ng empathy. Napapansin ko, kasi they're so technical, tapos kulang ng empathy. Na parang, lagi naman yung dahilan yan eh. Lagi naman ganito. Parang lahat sila dekahon na parang iniisip na nila, kung ganun ng barkada, ganun din naman yung bunga. Parang ganun lumalabas. And sometimes it's so hard to actually change the mindset of the management also. Diba? And in terms of HR, parang, yes, all we can do is, we give them training, we give them the tools. But then if people don't get the opportunity to use those tools, parang sayang naman.
That's right.
Po?
That's right.
Sayang naman.
Yeah, that's why when we go back to the topic of employee experience, importante natin that we understand the relationship of that experience with employee engagement and productivity. There's a very direct correlation. Most of the studies that we've seen really is saying, if we want to increase productivity, improve the engagement. But how do you improve engagement levels? Through experience, by providing employee experience. Kaya lang so many things have happened to us as a result of the pandemic. And one big change that I saw that could alter the trajectory of how we're moving towards the employee experience stream is the concept of well-being. Biglang all of a sudden, the subject of well-being became a top agenda. It became a board discussion for the first time. Before, that was never found in board discussions. All of a sudden, we became so concerned because the foundation for productivity, we found out, was as basic as taking care of the well-being of people. their physical health, their mental health, their psychological health. As a matter of fact, right now, we keep on talking a lot about mental health, di ba? Mental issues. Kasi one of the things we found out in the pandemic was this. There's a very direct link between the mind and the body. So if we want to be physically well, we have to take care of our mental health. And that's where the stresses and the burnouts and the depressions come in that sometimes we take for granted. And leadership has a big impact on this. And that's the reason why we need to rethink the way we lead we train our leaders, develop our leaders. What kinds of development programs? Is it effective? Is it making a difference? Is it building the kind of culture we desire so that the positive employee experience can happen? So yun ang mga nakikita kong big ticket items for HR as an agenda moving into 2024 and beyond.
Oh, pero Sir Jerry, alam mo, I tried to we have a very good HMO. And the HMO actually asked us, baka gusto nyo magpa-mental health talk sa mga tao as part of our wellness program. Unfortunately, our top leader said, naku, mahirap yan. Bakit? Siyempre, pag naano nila, ay, may mental health issue pala ako. Ay, pwede ko pala gawing dahilan yon na stressed ako, I need a time out. Sabi ko sa boss ko, diba mas maganda nga yun na i-express ng tao na stressed out na siya. Kaysa parang magugulat ka na nag-aawal siya, nagaganto siya. And I think it's good for us to be able to actually know, diba, what makes our people so stressed out. And maybe what we should do is to train our leaders first in terms of, I don't know kung tama yung term, para mental health first aid. Mental health first aid na at least yung leaders man lang muna, matrain natin how to be able to identify. Diba?
That's right.
Sino ba talaga?
Yeah.
Oo.
Maria, that's a very important point you're raising because it's like this. What many top management or employers don't realize sometimes or don't see is the link between, if we take care of the mental health, we can even reduce our health costs. Kasi may relationship ka yan. When we get stressed, we get may mga namamatay nga because of mental abuse, di ba? There's this book by a certain author abroad, sabi, Dying for a Paycheck ang title ng book na yun. And he was positing there that bad leaders can literally kill people. Can literally kill employees. They may not be physically killing them, but they can kill them through the mind. Stresses, to the unnecessary stresses, and to the incompetence, and so on and so forth. So yun lang. That's why babalik tayo sa leadership. Ano bang ginagawa natin? If we really want to make a dent in our own organizations, siguro the root of all this, you want to build a good culture where there's positive employee experience and people are able to unleash their potentials, we go to leadership.
That's true.
Diba? And I'm not talking about leaders at the front line. I'm talking about leaders from the very top. Because the higher they are, the more influence they have.
Yes, that is very true. Miss Maui, you can jump in anytime, ha? Baka meron kang gustong i-agree.
Yes, okay.
Kamusta naman po doon sa inyo?
Good afternoon. Hello. Okay naman
afternoon.
po. Anyway, I just really want to share this. Yung sinasabi ni Sir Jerry, sobra akong nakaka-relate, especially with my previous company. So tama yun. Siguro, sir, iniisip ko lang, no, when we talk about employee experience, we need to first have a good relationship with the champion natin. Tama kayo, from the top talaga siya. My experience in the past, ganun po talaga siya. Na parang dapat meron ka munang champion from the top na magpupush sa'yo. Kasi like, if halimbawa ikaw mismo, you're pushing for that, even if sa HR ka, you're pushing for that. But some of the other MANCO members or even somebody medyo mas mataas sa'yo, hindi ka tutulungan, hindi ka ipupush. Ang hirap po. If I may share my experience before, maswerte lang po ako because one of the, may mga champions ako na mismong may-ari. One of the owners, parang gano'n siya. I mean, several of the owners nakakausap ko and they are really championing also yung employee wellness, employee welfare. So kahit na yung susunod sa akin na boss, medyo challenging siya pagdating sa pag-take care ng empleyado, meron pa rin akong napupuntahan to help me. So it's really, as HR, no, parang kailangan tayo mismo masyadong firm sa atin. We're very adamant that we want this for our people and we will find ways para ma-share yun sa mga tao natin. Dati kasi ang pananaw lang ng mga leaders, ay sensitive lang yan. Kaya ganyan, makanti mo ng konti, makita mo na depressed, nagkaroon ng problema sa buhay. Ay, sensitive naman to. Pagka pinagsabihan, ay, sensitive naman to. Not knowing that really, it has something to do with the mental health na ng tao. And then yun nga, yung experience ko, totoo din yun, sir, physically, may mga na marami, because of the pandemic, no, it has really taken a toll on our physical, physiological, and mental health. So marami, during the pandemic, syempre ang daming tao na nanganganib yung trabaho nila, feeling nila nanganganib. What we did first with my previous company, we made the people know that the management direction. Ang direction ni management nun, 6,000 tayong lumabas dito nung pandemic, 6,000 tayong papasok ulit. So wala siyang retrenchment, wala siyang redundancy. Yun ang una po. And then we created sessions for everyone. And Luzon and Visayas kami. So yun. And every time that there are people na natatakot kasi doon sa area nila, merong nag-COVID, etc., we come up with our activities. So we really made them feel that, nakasuporta kami. And that, I think that's the engagement that we had with our people that made them stay. Kaso, nung pumasok na, nagkaiba na siya kasi di ba pumasok na, sales-driven na naman ulit yung mga tao, yung mga nasa taas. So, dapat magbenta kayo, ganyan. So, parang balik ako doon na, sir, yun pong pandemic, andyan dyan pa din. And our people, sila gusto nilang magtrabaho pa din. Pumapasok sila, nag-risk sila ng health nila. Huwag natin kalimutan yon. Sa kanya pa din, hindi, magtrabaho, ganyan. So, pasok pa din. So, you really need to, as HR, we really need to push for the mental health, mental wealth. Actually, overall po dapat ng well-being. Sabi ko nga, me as a nurse, nakikita ko kung paano dapat natin na tingnan yung correlation. Yung sabi nga ni Sir Jerry, it's really correlated. We had several people because they were so sales-driven sa taas na talaga pong literally, 3 po sa amin na mga, senior managers na ospital talaga because of stress. And so, dun pa lang, it was a realization na, you have to really lie low a little bit and think about it. Hindi po puros yung pera lang. Swerte lang talaga because meron akong champion galing sa taas. So, meron siyang nagpapaalala every now and then doon sa mga nasa baba na mga leaders niya na, eto na yung, sa board na po kasi ko dumidiretso kapag hindi na okay dun sa execom eh. So, at least man lang, we really need to do something and push for it.
Ay, nako, wawawi. I'm so, inggit ako sa'yo, nagawa mo siya. Kasi, nung time ng pandemic, we tried. Alam mo yun yung siguro yung part na nahirapan din talaga ako sa psycho. Yes, I agree with Emmy ko that long overdue na talaga ang issue of mental health pagdating sa employees. And this, totoo, should be the priority of HR leaders. Pero ang hirap. Kapag yung tama si Jerry, dapat manggaling sa taas. Pag yung taas, hindi siya naniniwala. Hindi, yung depression, di totoo yan. Ako inis na inis.
Pero this is the issue, Maria. When we talk about the top, what kind of development work, sometimes we're not reaching that level, di ba? Parang nasa middle tayo. So, how are they developing themselves as leaders, preparing for the changes that has happened, no? Especially the accelerated changes that has happened as a result of the pandemic. Kaya ang dapat phrase natin ngayon it's not people that are our greatest assets. It's healthy people. That is our greatest asset.
Yes.
I think that is the additional.
May descriptor na, sir.
Oo, di ba? That we should put there. Kasi if you have a mentally disturbed person or who's just going along because that's not an asset, no? Because he's mentally abused or whatever you call the term, which has an impact on his physical health. No? Kasi yung negative emotions may impact sa body natin yan eh. So that's what this all means. So that's the well-being. Now that's why what I'm beginning to see now, I think we need to change the term employee experience to human experience. Kasi yung employee experience is limited to the work setting. What has happened as a result of the pandemic was bigla nagkaroon ng merger ang professional life and personal life. We got into each other's lives. No, dati hindi natin nakikita how people were living, but because work was done at home, so we had an entry into that world. No, so all of a sudden wala na yung separation of work and life. So there's a merging, no? That's why hindi pwede sabihin natin, oh, we're just concerned about the quality of your work life. No, now when we talk about well-being, it's the quality of life. Kaya yung EX, which is employee experience, should be made or converted to HX, the human experience. That's why when we even talk about leaders now, and you mentioned this, Maria, earlier, di ba? You talked about empathy and things like that. So dito na papasok na how can leaders lead more humanly? That's the word, not humanely. Iba yung being human, iba yung humanly. Pag sinabi mo humane, leading humanely, I can give you more longer bathroom breaks. Yun ang humanely.
Yeah, that's true.
Sinabi natin lead in a human way, humanly, talagang you address the basic needs of the person. The need to recognize, to be encouraged, to be challenged, to have meaning, and so on and so forth. Ganong klaseng leadership. Babalik tayo doon.
Kaya nga, it's all back to basics eh. It's all about the basic thing of being human. Ang nakakalungkot, they think, trabaho ng HR yun, di ba? Hindi po. Extension po ang leaders sa ang HR. Para sabi ko sa mga leaders, alam nyo po, extension po kayo. Diba? Ano po ang inire-reflect ninyo? Ibig sabihin nun, yun ang tinuturo namin sa inyo, hindi po ganyan. And there are a lot of complaints on how they are being treated. Tama po kayo. It's not about bathroom breaks. It's not about less overtime. It's not about that. Kung paano ka ba pakiusapan. I remember one time, dumadaan lang ako dun sa floor during a Gemba walk. Narinig ko yung isang leader, na one of the tenured leaders, kung sigawan na yung tao, bakit ka nagkamali dito? Bakit ganito? Hinayaan ko siya. Tapos nung nag-explain yung tao, in-observe ko. After that, pinatawag ko siya. Ba't ka ganon? Ba't mo kailangan sigawan yung tao? Kasi tigas-tigas ang ulo eh. Tinanong mo ba bakit siya nahihirapan? Tinanong mo ba kung baka may kulang dun sa training ninyo? Tinanong mo ba kung ganito? Saan pa galing yan? Nakailang araw na bang pasok yan? Masama ba pakiramdam niya? Ma'am naman, hindi ko naman din trabaho yun. Trabaho mo yun bilang leader. I'm not asking you to know the nitty-gritty of their personal life to their love life and all that. It's not that. You just have to listen. You have to listen with your eyes also. Hindi porke sinanong mo, kamusta ka na? Okay lang po. Pero kita mo sa mukha niya, hindi. Diba? Yun, ang hirap para natuturo mo ba ang empathy, Sir Jerry?
Yung sinasabi mo, Maria, that's why I see this as an HR challenge moving forward. And the mantra can be something like this, bring back the human in HR. Ganun ang mantra dapat. Kasi we have focused too much on the resource side of HR. Parang let's use the people to advance the business. We're too much focused there at the expense of the human in HR. And something's got to give. I think we need to have a good balance between how do we lead in more human ways, while advancing the interests of business. That is a more sustainable strategy rather than go one side on extreme at the expense of the other. So you asked me the question, natuturo ba empathy? Of course, I mean, this is normal for human beings. This is a human skill. Kaya lang hindi tayo nabibigyan ng pagkakataon to, we're forced to act in certain ways. Business like to, ganun tayo, let's work like hell, I mean, but we are human beings. Siguro yan ang greatest natin. You were talking about AI earlier. Siguro Siguro AI is not a threat. Siguro we just need to give to the machines what the machines can do well, but let's leave what humans can do well to humans. Kasi ang nangyari sa
Yeah.
AI technology is from tool na promote nila to a teammate eh. Parang teammate na sila. They bring something to the table, no? Ganon. But they're just a teammate. That means to say they have not totally controlled us, no? There's still something they can give to the table. There's something unique we can give to the table. And what is that? That is the human capabilities, which machines cannot capture, no? So
Yeah.
siguro ganun lang, parang give to machines what machines can do best, but leave to humans what humans can do best. Kaya nga pag sinabi nating soft skills, kuminsan, soft skills lang yan eh. Hindi. Don't you know that soft skills now are more enduring than technical skills? The shelf life of technical skills is shorter. But the soft skills, the EQ, whatever, is more enduring because that is the human skills.
Hi, Maria. Sir, if I may know, there was one time I was talking with a manager. Kasi ganyan din siya, medyo, dun sa mga napanggaling ako, medyo talagang mga malalakas yung boses nila, tataas. So I was telling them, what's the difference between you? Alam mo, ituring mo siyang tao, hindi basta empleyado. Pagka kasi tinuring mong empleyado ang isang empleyado, you go by the policies only. But pagka yan tinuring mong isang tao, tuturing mo yan na may puso, may isipan and all. So, how do you treat one humanly? Kasi kapag ka empleyado, you go by the book. So, go beyond treating them as employees, treat them as humans always. Yun yung lagi kong sinasabi. Sabi nga nila, ma'am, si HR, no, it's not really HR. HR would just give you advice every now and then, would just remind you, would just give you the framework, etc. But it's always up to you how to treat them like human. Kasi hindi naman kami araw-araw kausap niyan, no? Hindi naman kami yung araw-araw nakatrabaho niya. Kayo naman. So, sino magtatrato dyan bilang tao? Dapat kayo yon.
Yun nga. Tapos bigla mo may mga minsan na parang, ma'am, ano naman itong hinayag ninyo? Bakit ganito titigas ng ulo? Excuse me, kami ho ba ang pumili ng kandidato? Hindi ho ba kayo? Tapos sino ho ba ang kasama niya for the past 4 months? Kami po ba? Di ba kayo? Bakit kami sinisisi ninyo? Ginaganon ko talaga sila. Na minsan na ano naman, hindi man binibigyan naman namin lahat ng training. Iba po ang training. Anong ugali ang pinapakita nyo ang importante? Yan ho ba ang kultura? Okay, Sir Jerry, let's go to culture. Ayan ho ba ang kultura na alam ninyo sa 20 years na po sa kumpanya? Ang nakakainis pa ako naririnig. Dati nga nung unang taon ko, yung boss ko ginawa sa akin, ganito, gumana naman. Okay. Nun yun, 18 years ago, we are talking about a different time. We are talking about, I'm not talking about generation at all. It's more about, ano bang pinagdaanan mo? If you think it worked for you, do you remember how you felt? It worked for you? But do you remember how you felt at that time nung ginawa sa'yo yun? Do you remember that time nung pauwi ka, parang gusto mo na mag-resign kasi pinapahiya ka sa harap ng ibang tao? Do you want your people to feel that at the end of the day? Tapos tahimik siya ng sandali. Hindi mayoko nun. Yun naman pala eh. So ba't mo ginagawa sa kanila? Kung alam mong ginawa sa'yo gumana, hindi ibig sabihin nun gagana sa iba. Dahil ikaw nadaanan mo, na-survive mo. Ano ba background mo? Ano ba background niya? Ang daming factors eh. But ang pinakapunto ko is how did you feel when that happened? Yun.
Yeah, you know, Maria, that's why it's very important to go back again to the way we develop leaders. You know, I think one of the things that we need to be very clear about is the difference between management skills and leadership skills. Iba yun. You know, I was talking one time to one professor of one, business school here, popular business school here in Metro Manila. And we were having this small exchange, and he said, after some time, he said, we have a problem with our graduates. It's true that they, because we are a reputable business school, they easily become managers, but they are not able to sustain their stay as managers. They either resign or they get fired. Ganon ang problema nila. So my simple reaction there, sabi ko, why don't you take a look at your curriculum? Are you teaching more management or leadership? Are you teaching them both? Because I get impression with the story you're telling me that probably you are teaching them more management than leadership, because it seems that they're over managing and under leading in their organizations. They get into trouble with people like that. Okay. So I guess these are some of the things, the considerations, because management is about is about getting things done, di ba? We have systems, we have processes, pero leadership is about people, inspiring, encouraging, recognize. Iba yun eh. And you need both. So if you overmanage and underlead, you'll be in trouble. In the same way you just lead, you don't manage, you'll have some execution issues, no? So kailangan dalawa yan. Now, the reflection is, how are we training our leaders? Are we training them more management, or more leadership, or is it a good balance? Probably that's one question we need to ask. That's why we can lessen these people issues. Remember, there's no such thing as a pure technical problem. So it's not just enough to be a good technical guy. There will always be a human complication to that. And that's why you need to have the leadership part, the human part, the people part.
Kaya nga po pagdating nga po sa mga training, it's nice to have providers who actually do focus group discussions. I found that very helpful, ha. There was there is one provider that we have so far na talagang gusto nila may FGD dun sa mga mix of rank and file and all that, to talk about what do your leaders want. Maganda eh. Ano yung nakikita nyong ganito, okay, ano yung ganito. So, di ba, management just has to be open. And I talked to my co-managers and I told them, whatever the result was, take it. Kasi ang ganda. Hindi siya sugar-coated, and we will be able to actually develop and enhance our team better. Wala ba? They're not bad, but we know they can do better than that. And it's all about just not pinpointing. It's all about, it's not a laundry list per se ng mga rank and file, pero di ba, it's nice to be able to see what we need to prioritize on. And I really agree, it's not about management anymore. It's about leadership. I mean, there's a lot of people, even I see rank and file, I see rank and file who actually have good leadership. And it's not even, yun nga tama po kayo, it's not management. Ang ganda ng leadership niya. Meron po kaming mga non-formal leaders na nakita, and I could see na ang galing nila mag-alaga, quote-unquote, ng mga Proby employees. Kasi they're encouraging, sinasamahan kapag lunch. Yun yung mga hinihingi ko noon pa dun sa mga leaders. Pag meron naman mga Proby kayo, baka gusto niyo ma-rotate na, ito, samahan mo ng lunch, ito isa bukas, ganyan-ganyan, para medyo makilala mo naman din, para makita naman din. But unfortunately, kung hindi yung sino pang hindi leader, yung pa talaga yung nakikita kong may leadership skills. Unfortunately, not all, pero not all my leaders are bad. But it's more of how I wish, di ba? Parang they could recall that time when they were new in the company, and sana nung bago ako may nagganto sa akin, they could do it to others, di ba? Yung good, hindi yung bad, of course. Kaya ngayon i-remind ko sa kanila lagi. Paalala lang, mga ganun ba? Yes, sir.
That's why earlier we talked about the challenge. So what do we do with the top people? Because they don't want to attend our formal training programs, ganun lang di ba? Minsan give it to the middle managers, give it to the first line supervisors, but the very top, no. That's why the solution of some organizations now is give them coaching.
Naku.
Kaya nauuso yung executive coaching. That is their education process. If you have a feedback system about how leaders are leading, and then they have the benefit of having a coaching session, doon sila nagkakaroon ng self-realization, and they're able to hopefully change things, no. Otherwise, they have no way of really pivoting from their own existing behaviors, no. So ganon siguro ang other organizations are doing that, because the very top don't want to attend formal, I don't want to sit down 2 days, 1 day, in a formal session, but the coaching is different. Kaya ganon ang nagiging more acceptable.
Kaso maski naman coaching, yung iba ayaw, inisip nila, there's something wrong with me.
Yeah, pero others will prefer that than sit down in a formal class of 20
yeah.
people. Yun ang choice doon, di ba? Ayoko nga umupo. Uupo ako diyan tapos or they want to attend a program abroad. Pero that's expensive naman di ba? Kung sila lang they want abroad tapos sila, spend so much. That's not also practical. So a coach is the way to go. Kasi parang talagang thinking partner ang coach Parang pinag-iisip yung executive Yung ginagawa mo ba nakakabuti? What's the impact? Yung mga ganun. Talagang ginigrill yan dyan. No? So that might be the way to go. So ito kaya nga umiikot tayo dito sa challenges ng how do we provide employee experience that's positive so that people can do their very best. Culture is very important. That's why importante yung culture kasi kahit na sino ang leader dyan, dapat yung kultura nandyan Kasi if you don't have a strong culture, your organization becomes personality-based. Umalis yung isang leader, biglang nagbagong total, nothing stays the same. No? So that's why now more and more I'm beginning to
Yes.
or are undertaking culture change programs, deliberate culture change programs.
Culture change programs. That's interesting.
Yeah. Because if you try to take a look, what is the relationship of culture to strategy? If you don't work on the culture, you will sacrifice your execution ability for the strategy, because that's where the execution is. In your strat planning, you seldom talk about leadership and culture, but that's execution. That's why many organizations they form different strategies, but they seldom are able to execute it very well because they have not talked about execution through leadership and culture. What kind of culture do we need to build so that we can execute that business strategy? Ganun ang question that needs to be answered. And that could be an HR agenda. If HR really wants to be strategic and wants to contribute to the organization. So etong natin, we really need to step ourselves from the administrative side and really ask ourselves, what is it that we can do that will create an impact on the business? Ganyan ang I think that's the trend. I think more than ever, the pandemic where we saw HR at the forefront, HR will never be the same again. I think HR will continue to grow, get more added responsibilities. It's up now to the HR professional if he or she can catch up.
That's gonna be challenging. Especially with limited resources, Jerry,
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Grabe. I mean, culture change programs are quite an investment. Pero, di ba,
Because
parang,
timo HR, we're getting, some HR are responsible for sustainability already, for ESG, for ethics, it's a growing, So how do we need to work on ourselves too, our education. Probably this association is helping you attend more seminars, read more books, talk to more senior people. We just need to continue to grow. Otherwise, we will be left behind.
Yeah. But then, ano yan naka-experience na rin ako ng okay, pinag-training nga ako lahat. Okay, may mga gusto ko i-implement, sabay, mahal. And normally HR being a cost center, since we are not revenue generating, ang
We are the
lagi.
least developed. We're the last to be developed.
We're the last, di ba? Tapos sa tamang, budget nyo this year, pareho ng next year, pero you have to do more. So how do you now balance being able to do more with limited resources? Parang, okay, sige, parang limited resources tayo, okay, so we actually try to develop what internal trainers, ganyan, or parang I'm thinking about either leadership coaches also. I'm also thinking about that, pero as usual sasabihin nila, di ba dapat HR nagagawa ng mga leadership coaches? Sabi ko, parang di ba mas maganda kung within the department? Hindi, we can't be with them all the time. I mean, di ba? Parang ang hirap naman din ng ganun. Parang lahat ng solusyon gusto HR lang mag-execute.
Yeah, because when you talk about culture change, you have to be very deliberative. Hindi pwedeng ano lang yan, our framework, the investors in people is one approach. We're helping organizations. Really, that's a culture change initiative. Really, so that the practices in the organization change. They become good practices that impact on employee experience. It has to be deliberate. It has to have talagang well thought out and deliberate.
Okay. Wowie, have you tried having a culture change from where you are?
Yung previous ko, sobrang malaki kasi yung impact sa akin ng previous ko. When I came in, marami talagang, I was the eighth HR in 5 years. So I was asking, oh, bakit? So it was really a challenge that time. And then for the first 3 months, the chairman talked to me and asked me, ano yung assessment? Sabi ko lang, ano ko, it's a culture of sigawan here. Parang lahat po, ang lalakas ng boses. Ang sakit sa lalamunan. So sabi niya sa akin, oh, nagagawa na yung ng boss ko daw, palasigaw din, ganyan-ganyan. So, totoo naman yon. Pero I cannot feel kasi na pinapersonal niya. So, sabi ko, every time nasisigaw siya, sinasabi ko sa kanya, sir, huwag ka sigaw ng sigaw. Tataas po yung HMO ko. Sabi ko gano'n, kasi ipapasok na kita sa ospital dahil magkakaroon ka na ng sore throat, tapos magiging throat cancer na po yun. Pagka hinimatay ka po, hindi kita kaya, laki-laki mong tawa, hatakin na lang kita palabas. So, I just joke around. And then I tell him, after na, ay, hindi, ganyan, sabi ko, no, sabi ko gano'n, baka gusto mong kumalma ng konti. Alam mo yan, parang lakasan po ng loob siya na talagang inano ko. Ang sagot lang sa akin ng chairman, see, you can talk to ganyan ng ganyan, diba? To your boss ng ganyan. So, help us change that. For siguro for several years during the leadership ng boss, I talked to him sabi ko din sa boss ko, sir, nag-usap kami ni chairman, and nakita niya na ikaw din pala sigaw. So sabi din actually sa akin ng chairman, maybe, Bobby, it's my fault. It's the culture that when I was the president, that was the culture that I created because I was also like that. Sabi ko sa kanya, alam mo sir, tumataas. Hindi dahil kausap kita. Tumataas yung boses mo, yes, but may hiya kami. Kaya tumaas ang boses mo because we were not able to deliver, I think. So, may realization kami doon. But there's always a better way to say things. There's a better way to communicate. So, let's all work on this. Yun yung sabi ko sa kanya. Tapos kinausap ko po yung boss ko doon. For a while, siguro for 3 years, we tried to create that culture na pagka tumataas yung boses, pati sa email. Kasi yung email din doon nagmumura. As in talagang kulay pula na all capital letters, naka-bold, rank and file to kahit na anong position sasagot. Especially yung rank and file ng back office. Kunwari accounting, maghahanap pa ng mga nawawalang resibo, tapos i-charge na yung mga tao. Isisisi na lang ako, kasama na ako doon. So, I talked to the leaders na nando doon sa email. Sabi ko, ano kayo, piping saksi? So, I talked to them separately. Piping saksi ba tayo dito sa email na to? Nagmumurahan na yung tao natin dito. I will answer, but I want everyone to also do their part. Sabi ko gano'n, hindi pwedeng lagi kayo nakaganyan na lang. So, sinagot ko isa-isa. Tapos sinabi ko na, hindi pa kayo, ang lagi ko sinasabi sa lahat ng kausap ko before, hindi pa tayo nagkikita face-to-face. Hindi nyo pa nakikilala because ang laki natin di ba? Hindi pa tayo nagkakilala ng lubos. Pero strained na yung relationship natin kasi nagmurahan na kayo. Email pa lang, phone pa lang. I think that's very unfair for both of you because you could be best of friends eventually, but you did not give yourselves that chance. So why not try to be a little more sabi ko ganun. So every time my request to the heads before, nakatatlong beses nakita nila may nagmumurahan tapos hindi nila nagawa ng paraan. I tell the people, mini-message ko, hinahanap ko sa Facebook yung mga tao, or I talk to the HRBP, sasabihin ko, may nag-aaway ng mga taong ganito, tao mo to. So I give also my HRBPs the responsibility. Bakit umabot sa akin na may email na ganito? Bakit umabot sa akin yung email na nag-aaway sila? Bakit umabot sa akin yung kwento nag-aaway? HRBP ka. So I talk to the HRBP and I tell them, ganito yung dapat yung gawin, pagsabihan niyo lahat yan. Pag yan umabot ulit sa akin, HRBP yung ko. So I think we also need to empower our HRBPs if we have that, yung mga downlines natin sa HR, we need to empower them to also spread that culture na gusto natin na i-create. If it's a culture of respect, sabi ko nga culture of respeto lang bilang mga tao, yun yung dapat nating unahin gawin. So for a while nangyari yon, pero nung nag-iba na, tama ka Sir Jerry hindi siya yung buong kultura kasi nung nag-iba yung leadership, naiba na naman. So culture of sigawan na naman. So parang ako, napagod na ako doon kasi even ako, tumaas, nag-pandemic pa. So, naapektuhan na din ako physiologically. So, tumataas na rin yung BP ko. No? So, parang ayoko na po maging referee. Parang umabot na ako sa ganung punto. Pero for a while, it's really fulfilling to see that there's a change in that. And HR, I think, malaking bagay po kasi talaga na yung nasa taas mo, may champion ka. Yun ang number one talaga eh. Sir Jerry, may question nga ako kanina, sabi mo, how do you get them to attend programs? How do you get them to implement or execute whatever it is that they have learned from the programs? Kasi yung mga boss ko naman, before yung mga may-ari, masyado naman silang matyaga. Pagka may learning sessions kami, they would want to join, but not all of them, especially yung mga iba doon, medyo may tigas talaga ng ulo. Hindi nila gagawin. Parang pasok dito, labas dito. Kaya nga sabi ko sa kanila one time, gusto niyo leadership na na session, di kayo na lang magturo kasi yung leadership style nyo naman gusto nyo sundin eh. Diba? So parang kahit naman anong turo sa inyo ng positivity, positive leadership, kung yung paninigaw nyo pa rin yung gusto nyo ituro nyo na lang, paano mag-a-adapt sa inyo? Diba? Yun na lang. Parang ako yun, doon na yung frustration ko nang galing.
Yeah. Kaya nakikita ko
Ayun po.
isang good practice dyan sa leadership development. Kunyari, if a group of leaders attend a group session, kino-coach sila for a while so that they're helped to apply what they've learned. Kasi let's face it, when you learn something new, it's not going to be easy applying that new thing eh. At the first difficulty, you will you will revert back to your old ways, you know. So this is where the coach is able to help, to support, to encourage. And then for a while lang, and then after a while yan, pag nakuha niya yan, i-release na yan, no? So I think that people need help, no? To be able to practice new things they've learned, especially kung medyo kakaiba sa pinagagawa nila before. And this is where coaching can help. This one-on-one conversation. Oh, I think you really need yung combination yun, yung group training at saka one-on-one is working. I've seen that work already for application of what has been learned. Otherwise, sayang yung group learning nyo. Parang, parang you're just wishing it will be applied. You don't have a mechanism to ensure that this is applied.
Oh, parang yung ano ko ngayon. Yun nga, it's all about it's all about the opportunity for them to actually apply. 'Di ba? Parang
Yes.
ano yan eh. Meron akong isang manager, sabi niya, itong mga tao ko kulang sa decision making talaga, yung analysis nila ganto. Bakit? Kasi biro mo, simpleng ganito lang, sakit pa nila lapit. Ganito lang, sakit pa nila lapit. Tinanong ko siya, ano ba yung proseso niyo ng mga pagdidesisyon? Baka naman nasanay din sila dun sa dati mo. Have you tried to empower them? Have you told them, okay, pagdating sa normal daily activities na sakop ninyo, go ahead and decide, I trust you well enough in that. Hearing that from you is the empowerment talaga and trust. Yun yung naman kailangan nila sa iyo eh. Pero, kapag sila nagdesisyon, wag mo sila papagalitan ng ganun-ganun lang kasi in-empower mo sila. So you also have to take responsibility in that.
That's right.
Ngayon, if you want, dandahanin mo. 'Di ba? O sige, I'm not talking about lahat sila, kung 18 silang supervisors mo, lahat sila bigyan mo ng empowerment, hindi. You have to customize kung sino yung nakikita mo. Okay, ganyan, ito mukhang kaya na nito, mas mataas, ganyan. So, it took a while. It took a long time kasi siya mismo, as leader, naging micromanager siya. So, siya rin mismo, ang problema niya, she doesn't like kung wala siyang control, hindi niya, ayaw niya yung wala siyang alam o wala siyang alam nangyayari. So it took a while for her to actually adjust to that. And at least now, nag-update after almost 2 years. It took her a while. Na maski siya dumadaing sa akin, nahihirapan ako kasi parang nagugulat na lang ako, ganun ang dinicide nila na sana ganito, dapat ganito, dapat ganyan. Sabi ko, how do you give the feedback ba? It's all about giving that feedback also. You can say something like, okay, that was a good decision, but do you think there was another way that you could have done it? They have to, di ba, be the ones actually express it out. Maganda kasi galing sa kanila eh. You have to also train them to actually also think, andun na eh. Konti na lang, Day. Ginaganon ko siya, konti na lang. So,
That's
maski siya natututo.
That's
Di
right.
ba? Oh.
Yeah. Alam mo,
Kaya
importante, Maria, yung when you empower people, you have to couple that with grow people. You're growing the people. Kasi if you empower them if they're not too competent, medyo talagang hindi yan, no? Hindi gagalaw yan. So when you talk about growth, siguro one core skills that I think we need to integrate in leadership is both coaching and mentoring.
Oh, yeah.
Dapat marunong ang every leader when coaching conversation happens and when a mentoring that's part of his grow kit. Aside from empowering, kasi maganda yun, you empower but you continually grow people so that they will be comfortable making those decisions and being because they are feeling confident, no? So yung twin na yun dapat magkasabay talaga yan. Kaya lang how many leaders are spending time growing their people, really spending time to have to really they're just sabi I don't have time for that. Hindi na yung relationship ng if you grow people, if people are continuously learning, it will improve productivity and innovation. That's the fuel of performance improvement and innovation. Hindi nila makita yung link na yon. That's why you need to grow. If you want impact on productivity, you have to grow your resource. And these are the investments in time that you need to have development conversations with your people. So again, part of the leadership, again, management, leadership, ibang arms yun eh. The language of management is KPIs, budgets, and targets. The language of leadership is encouragement, inspire, challenge, grow, empower. Nandun sa leadership yan.
Paano naman, Sir Jerry, kung yung boss nung manager din mismo kasi micromanager din? Nagkaroon ako ng ganon, parang hirap din. Tapos siyempre nakikita ng mga tao ko, ginaganon ako ng boss ko. Tapos sila parang, sige, ako nang bahala sa inyo, kayo magdesisyon. Parang ang hirap balansehin. Kaya nga, di ba? It starts from the top.
Hindi mo siya kontrolado but you can control your own style
Yeah.
for your own team, di ba? Hindi mo siya
Yes.
kontrolado. So,
Yun nga din sabi ko dun sa kasama ko. Sabi ko, hindi naman porke ginawa niya. Again, hindi porke ginagawa sa'yo, kailangan mo rin gawin sa mga tao mo. Alam ko may pressure ka.
Kaya isa sa mga important conversations that will happen in organization among leaders of organization is they should have a consensus on their leadership brand. How should we lead in this organization? Dapat may conversation na gano'n. Hindi yung kanya-kanya kung saan a brand. Parang how, given our strategy, ganito lang ang question how should we lead? So that we can help our people get aligned to the execution of the strategy. Para meron kayong consensus, should other people say, should be a caring leader ba tayo? Vision na, whatever, para meron tayong hulma. Kumbaga this is how we should lead. This is our brand. And this is how we want to be known for. And this brand helps us achieve our business objectives. Dapat may ganong conversation. Now, the question is, meron ba tayong conversation na ganon?
When do you do those conversations, Sir Jerry?
Dapat do yung strategic planning. Once you develop your strategy, siguro the next question you ask, so how will we execute this? One conversation you should have is, how should we lead? Can we agree on a brand of how we should lead this organization para hindi tayo ibang-iba, miles apart tayo, personality based.
Sir Jerry, paano
If I
naman
may
kung
share.
yung ay sige. Wawi, go ahead.
Ay, sorry. No, go. Sige. Well, anyway, if I may share, tama yun si Sir Jerry during the strat planning. And also during that strat planning, go back to your values. If one of the values is leadership, one of the values is integrity, are you the kind of leader that has that integrity also? Baka naman kasi ikaw din nakikitaan ng may mga pagkukulang, especially alam niyo as basic as attendance, as basic as yung punctuality. Baka ikaw din. So it's very difficult to look people in the eye and tell them, oy, ganito yung gawin natin. When you yourself, hindi ka ganon. So sabihin mo, bawal maganyan. Tapos hindi naman. Ikaw din mismo naninigaw. So go back to the values. When you do your strat planning, anchor pa rin ninyo sa values nyo. I had that experience. We used to discuss that during the strat planning. But we anchor that. Yung lahat ng actions namin, we also look into the values pa din. Does it speak of our values? That will our action steps manifest the values that we have? Like if we're talking of positivity, positive ba yung gagawin mong action? If we're talking of compassion, meron bang ganyan yan sa mga tao? Yun. So, babalik at babalik doon. May malasakit ba yan doon sa tao? Like, one of the values would be, kung value mo ng company is malasakit. Yan bang gagawin mo? May malasakit ba yan sa empleyado, sa customer, sa buong kumpanya? So, always go back to the guiding lights. Parang ganun.
Hmm. That's very interesting. Like, so, okay. Do you believe, is this an offshoot about that, no? Do you believe in in rewarding people who show that?
Reward.
Rewarding people for showing the malasakit. Mga ganyan. Do you believe in rewarding people na talagang may votation system and all that and then reward them for that?
Yeah.
Parang,
So what you're saying, Maria, is you should have a program to acknowledge or recognize people who are living the values.
yes. Mm.
Yun, kasimple doon. Because
Oo.
if you want the values to be really alive, you must have a program to nurture that. And like you can have values champions, no? You write stories of people who have championed the value. I know of one organization, they always have tinatawag na values moments. Before they start a formal meeting, 15 minutes, they talk about the values. Can anyone share in our group who exhibited our value of integrity in the last 2 weeks? May ganon.
Sa
Or
actual group po.
value of teamwork. Whatever. Ganon.
Okay.
15 minutes. Sharing. They get reminded, ganun pala ginawa niya. That's teamwork. So you're keeping, part of culture nurturing is keeping the values alive. Because
I
that's
like
the
that.
culture, di ba?
Oh, I like that. Oo nga, no.
It does not have to be very complicated. You can have a values champion. This executive is the champion of teamwork. Etong story niya, no? Etong mga pinagagawa niya, how he organized a team, collaborated with a lot of people and get the result done. Mga ganon.
Galing na, Sir Gary. I like that. Oo, kasi may mga sila, may mga
Yes.
toolbox meetings yung sa company ko ngayon. Before the start. So nga, tama, no? It is something to actually have that. It's so, it's not really to, paano ba to? It's not really to like embarrass the person who actually did this, but they can actually commend. Diba? So pwede naman sabihin na, itong si paring ganito, ganyan, nung Lunes,
Yeah.
sinulungan ako. So salamat doon. And at least, tama, leaders could actually say, ay, ginawa pala niya yun. Hindi ko napansin yun ah. Actually, very good. I like that. Thank you very much for that. Wow.
Yeah, Maria, if I may share, please. Sorry, unstable yung internet ko.
Go ahead.
I think
Sorry, unstable yung internet ko, kaya hindi ko naririnig. Nagsalita ko. Anyway, Maria is saying something. Okay. To follow up lang doon sa sinabi ni Sir Jerry, I used to have what I call yung values. Parang meron kasi siyang pep talk. So merong activity na it's HR who sends out parang yung mga values meron siyang values for the week. So nagsisend out si HR ng pep talk materials, mga 5 to 10 minute materials yon. Discussion lang, something about values, and then meron siyang recognition portion in the end. So, magsasalita, or pwedeng ikaw or yung kasama mo ang magre-recognize sa'yo. Pwedeng ikaw, how did you live that out yesterday? So, it's not actually just reward, but kasi nung umpisa, ayoko kasi nang laging meron siyang external motivation. Gusto ko yung magpusa muna siya because ikaw muna eh. Hindi pa pwedeng lagi kitang may kapalit. So, we started off with recognition lang. And then eventually, i-share ko lang din si SM, meron kasi yung kanyang values, delight. So, lagi siyang meron din ganon, pep talk na delightful moments, delightful ganyan. Yung delight po is actually an acronym for the values. So, drive and enthusiasm, ganun siya. So, meron siyang ibig sabihin. So, every month, yun naman, meron siya every month na theme. So, kunwari, may color yung bawat value. So, drive and enthusiasm, kunwari kulay green. So, every last Friday, let's all dress up ng green and then you send out your delightful moment. Parang ganon. As a team, parang ganon siya. So, pwede kayo kasing mag-share ng mga activities until people nakita namin doon, people are excited to have something to share during that delightful moment activity. Para sa ganun, alam mo yon yung parang meron siyang bida effect, parang ganun lang. Pero simple-simple yung ginawa niya. As simple as meron po ako nakitang ballpen sa selling area, binalik ko po siya, hindi siya sa akin. Yung ganun, very simple, very basic, pero kasi sometimes that's what we miss out eh. So both personal at saka po yung dun sa ginawa sa store or sa company, they share. So that's part of the delightful moments. It's part of the actually values pep talk. Even during the pandemic sa previous company ko, nandun siya sa Facebook. We created a Facebook page for the employees. Tapos nag-upload kami doon ng mga pep talk materials on value. So ang ginagawa namin dahil di nakikita, so meron naman siyang nakasulat doon. Tapos ipopost naman ng mga managers nila doon sa portal. Ano yung mga sharings ng mga tao. And then we choose kung ano yung pinipili namin of from ganitong kumpanya, from ganitong branch, popost naman namin sa Facebook page yun. Inaartehan na lang namin yung sharing. Pero nandoon yung pangalan ng tao. So recognition din siya. As simple as that, siguro pwedeng maka-create nung. Yun lang talagang, sorry, babalik ako sa may champion kayo dapat who will help you on that. Kasi mamamatay siya kapag nawalan ka ng champion. Ang ganda nung inumpisahan mo, tapos eventually makikita mo, ay bumagsak na naman siya because wala nang suporta galing sa taas.
Ang hirap nung champion. Sabi ko nga parang when we were forming our values, no, this was around 3 years ago, sabi ko, ang bigat. It is really heavy. Yun nga, one of it, like what Wawi said, one of it was integrity. Oh my God, malasakit. Oh my God, innovation and all that. Sabi ko nga dun sa mga leaders nung nandun kami sa strat plan, sigurado kayo na ito yung gusto nyong values. Because one of the things that you do have to remember, all of us have to walk the talk. Hindi lang po HR, hindi lang po managers, lahat po talaga ng leaders. So it's not just going to be everyone here in the room. In the room, we're just key leaders lang, or some representatives per department na leaders. So it was something that I think I have to admit we might have missed out on explaining it more. You know? Yes, it's a word, integrity. Everyone would know what it is, or malasakit would know how it is. But in terms of how it connects to the company's mission vision, it's actually also different. Diba? Parang medyo kulang din. So, thank you for this, no? Talagang nare-realize ko ngayon, yes, there is something more I can do aside from just the usual call out or anything, or even just a simple of even the simplest may nagsoli ng canteen card. It's a prepaid card, 500 pesos. Walang pangalan. Yung tao dinala lang sa amin. Tapos natuwa yung manager kasi sabi niya, o sige, antayin natin kung may mag-claim. May nag-claim naman. Kasi nagtanong sa HR kung may nakapulot. 500 pesos to a daily wage earner is very big. Yeah? It's a good for 1 month. So sobrang tuwa ng manager dun sa rank and file niya. Binigyan din niya ng 500 pesos na card. Sabi ko, okay, and what else? Sabi niya, alam mo, tuwan-tuwa nung ginawan ko siya ng certificate of appreciation. Napakasimple ng mga tao. Diba? It doesn't have to be monetary. It doesn't have to be, big or grand. As in, mabigyan siya during the next day, pinatawag siya with the team during their level 1 meetings at sinabi, alam nyo ba si Mr. So-and-so, nagsoli po siya ng 500 pesos na canteen card. So, nahiya pa siya. Sabi nga nung iba, pare, dapat tinago mo na lang. Wala naman palang pangalan eh. Alam niyo po, sabi niya, konsensya ko naman yun. Diba? It's all about that. It's all about values.
Yeah, great story.
Yeah.
Sometimes when we talk about rewards, we're too focused on the extrinsic.
Oo.
Marami tayong dapat sa intrinsic side, no? Yung like being recognized, working in a good team, belonging, yung mga ganun, dapat makapitalize natin yun because those are also equally, even if not more powerful. Especially yung etong concept. This is another thing talking about trends, no? The concept is work joy.
Work joy.
Are employees challenged, are growing, enjoying what they're doing? That's critical. That's the key to sustainable motivation if we can figure that out, if we can give that. Especially in a setup where we have hybrid people working from home. Can you imagine if they don't enjoy what they're doing and you can't see them? So work joy. Kasi iba na no? Especially if you have a hybrid or you work from remote, no? All of a sudden, nag-iba ang dynamics eh. We have to trust these people. So they better enjoy their work. Let's re-engineer that work in such a way that people really love that work. Kaya work joy, HR getting involved in creating more work joys is beginning to come out.
Work joy. How do you actually, Wawi, ikaw, how do you motivate yourself? Unfortunately,
Ah.
'di ba? Parang, 'di ba, ang daming stress sa HR. 'Di ba? Parang yun nga, despite that,
Mm.
we try to, 'di ba? We try to as HR,
Mm.
maski mainit ang ulo mo, may pumasok sa pinto. Yes po, how can we help you today? Ano po may tutulong namin sa'yo? How do you actually do that? Lalo na with the industry you are with now, it's quite stressful, especially with working remote and
Mm.
all that, no? Can you share with us yung mga ibang efforts ng
Mm.
company to ensure joy?
Ako, ako kasi, sabi ko nga, di ba, I'm a nurse by profession. Hindi ko nakita yung sarili ko that I would be in HR talaga. So, I always go back to being grateful na I'm able to serve my purpose. Kasi sabi nga natin, di ba, the purpose in life is to become the best that we can be so that we could also help others be the best people that God wants them to be. So, I always go back to being grateful that the universe made me an HR person and that I'm able to serve my purpose because of that. So I always go back to that na at least nagiging mas mabuti akong tao. Kasi may temper tayong lahat di ba? Pero pag nasa HR ka, you get to control that. So thankful ako tumataas yung EQ ko at times pag nasa HR ka. So yun, I always go back to that na at least I'm able to serve my purpose. This gave me a purpose also. Yung doon na lang, although mahirap siya talaga, but at the end of the day, tapos ang with my work right now, kasi I serve several units already. So parang, yun nga, tama si Sir Jerry, no? The pandemic has really changed the landscape ng work ni HR. So, nagbi-business process ako, would you believe operations po yung chine-check kong business process and gagawan sila ng policy documentation and all. So, both HR and operations yung pinapatulong na. So HR would be on. So do sa side na monitor mo how it will affect, etc. etc. So parang ang dami talaga niyang ginagawa. Ang dami ng trabaho. Pero lagi ko na iniisip na at least meron akong magagawa, maraming matutulungan. Ano pa ba? May trabaho, you are able to help your family, you're able to help a lot of people pa din. Yun lang, medyo, tsaka ito yung gusto mo di ba? So when I embarked on this career and I embraced on this career, I took the accountability as well to embrace whatever challenges na darating sa kanya. Medyo mahirap pero in-embrace ko na siya. Especially nakita ko yung impact niya when I was, yung previous ko kasi the last stint that I had with SM was yung engagement nila. And then I left, I joined motor trade. Sa motor trade, very fulfilling nga kasi madami siyang iba yung level doon kasi nga very strategic because you're working already with the owners, you're working with yung ganon. So parang it's a conglomerate that you're working with. So it's a different experience altogether and it's very fulfilling when you get to see the changes in the people and the culture in the organization. So bumabalik ako doon sa, ay Lord, thank you, you made me an instrument. Parang ganun lang siya palagi. At the end of the day, even right now, at the end of the day, parang, okay, at least may natulungan pa din ako. Yesterday, I share ko lang din, yesterday, I had a talk with the, parang, mga students ng City University of Pasay. Yun din yung sinabi ko sa kanila. Dahil mag-OJT pa lang sila, don't do your OJT for the sake of compliance, na matapos mo yung 300 or 600 hours. Make it a foundation para dun sa magiging career mo sa buhay so that when you embark on yung career mo talaga, you will embrace everything, even all the challenges. Makikita mo eventually tataas not only your EQ, your IQ, but also your SQ and your EQ. The adversity quotient talagang tataas and yung pag-hold on mo dun sa faith mo na, Lord, tutulungan mo ako kahit na anong mangyari, you will guide me. Parang siya, makakatulong siya ng husto sa'yo. So, Gayon pa lang, yung ganun siya, it's really, you have to really embrace whatever in career na kinuha mo. Kasi hindi ka pwedeng magpalit in the middle eh, di ba? Lalo na yung medyo katulad ng age ko na, hindi na ako pwedeng magpalit mag-iba. In-embrace ko na lang siya. Ganun. Ayun. Thank you.
So ano ka pala, Wowie? HR by accident. Ano ba yan?
Opo, actually, sabi ko nga, sir, gusto feeling ko kilala mo yung nag-interview sa akin, si Miss Miteria.
Si
Sa
Julie.
SM po. Si
Julie.
Opo, yes. So, when she was interviewing me, I was applying kasi for the operations, position. Sabi niya sa akin, nagsusulat ka. Sabi ko, mahihain po ako. Sabi ko, gano'n, so hindi po ako pwedeng maging trainer. Sabi niya, hindi. Sabi niya, meron, kasi they were trying to restructure HRB. Yung training group nila before, may writing group, tapos meron na yung taga-implement na lang. So sabi ko, sige doon po ako sa writing, tapos hindi niya tinuloy. Train niya ako to become a trainer. So, in 1 year, ang dami niya pina-attendance sa akin na trainers training and all. So parang tapos in-expose niya ako both in writing and in doing sessions. So parang yun, kaya lagi ko pong sinasabi, I owe everything to the universe, to SM, because they made me the HR person that I am right now. Nagkakilala kami ni Neddy sa HR mentoring with Sonny. I was with Sonny before. So, nagkakilala kami doon and we're doing HR mentoring as a pay forward because I'm not really an HR person. Lagi ko sinasabi yung, hindi naman ako HR person, ayoko nga ng ganito. Pero, ito po yung pinakita sa akin na paraan for me to be able to serve my purpose. Tapos na-a-apply ko naman yung nursing practice ko sa kanya, yung TLC. Patience is a virtue in HR eh. Pag nurse ka, marami kang patience. Patience and patience. Yun. So, na-apply ko naman po. Yes, by accident, and it's a very positive, very happy accident.
Happy accident.
Oh, happy accident. Maski naman nata ako happy accident. Marami akong kilala accidental HR. Pero, di ba, we love it. Di ba? We love it despite the challenges kasi nakakatulong po tayo sa mga tao. Di ba? Okay, so Sir Jerry, just to sum it up, ano po yung ating highlights ng HR trends? You already mentioned leadership, culture nurturing, employee experience. So, and I think probably what I can ask from you would be, what is your word of advice for us in HR ngayong 2024 na parating?
Siguro yung my simple advice is dapat ang HR should be a role model for continuous learner. So tayo, we should even be more passionate about learning than anybody else in the organization. We should be number one there. Kasi tayo ang givers, di ba? We are we take care of the people, we train them, we recognize them and things like that. So I think moving into the HR trends, dapat makita lang natin yung parang guiding star natin yan, yung we're responsible for talent, for organization, and for leadership. I think yung 3 words na yon is very critical for us to become more relevant, more impactful in the organization. So what can we contribute when it comes to talent availability and retention? Di ba? Kasi pag hindi maganda yung employee experience, we will have high turnover. Or kung hindi man siya nagre-resign sa inyo, low commitment there, no? Low engagement, no?
Totoo.
So, ang tawag nga sa may iba diyan, quiet quitting. Parang nandun pa sila sa iyo pero they're not doing much anymore, no? They're just doing just to get by, no? Parang retired on the job type. So that's not productive, no? The other one is the organization. We cannot not do anything about the organization because the organization shapes the talent. Kahit na, even if we get the best people, if we have a toxic organization, these people will not either produce there or they will not stay long, no? So I think it really needs to go hand in hand, the talent development, the organization, that's why the culture is at the heart of that serves the strategy. And then leadership. I think we should really revisit that. What am I doing as HR to improve the leadership capabilities in our organization? Because that is key to building that culture that provides that positive employee experience. So sa akin, wag lang tayo mawala doon. That's our North Star. I think we are on our way to becoming a more relevant and strategic HR person in our organization.
Wow, relevant. Teaching. Ikaw, Miss Wawi, what are your thoughts for today? At salamat ha. At napaka-engaging nung ating talk. Oy, those who are in the room, please, anytime, raise your hand, ask the questions dun sa chat. Maski ano pa yan, wag lang personal at math. Medyo kaya nga ako nag-HR kasi mahina po ako doon. Ano, Miss Wawi, please.
Yeah. Actually, Maria, yan din yung sinabi ko. Just would like to add on dun kay Sir Jerry, tsaka i-share ko lang din yung nabasa ko, no? Parang more than the insights that we have with our metrics right now, we have to make ourselves relevant by providing the impact of what we're doing. Kasi alam ko, feeling ko, over the years, sanay na tayo na nagbibigay ng metrics, di ba? Training reach, recruitment, fulfillment rate, etc. But what do these numbers tell us? And how does this impact the organization? I think that's how we would make ourselves relevant. And siguro talagang yung experience ko na yung mga tao, they go to you because they need someone to talk to, and then they go to you, alam mo yun, just for them to have that comfort. And yung ano yon, siguro yun yung wag nating tanggalin sa mga tao in our little way. Ako nga nainis kasi umaabot ako sa point na SSS na lang na nila, tinatanong pa nila sa akin, Diyos ko po. But it's something that people would really need to discuss with HR. It's our job. If you cannot do it, try to find someone in HR to do it. So we also need to upskill our HR people. Kasi tayo as leaders ng HR, alam natin yung gusto natin, but do our people know? And do they have the same passion as we have? So siguro yun din, i-share natin sa lahat. That way, let's start the culture in HR muna. If we want to change the culture in our organization, do it in our own turf muna. So let's change the culture in HR, make it more human, make it more compassionate siguro. And then with the use of technology, we can reach out to people. So AI is talagang andyan na siya, di ba? But let's not allow AI to change and to address all the concerns of the people. Nandiyan pa rin dapat tayo to help. Kasi dapat yun yung mga nakikita natin. Isa pong nakita ko doon sa previous company ko, parang lahat sinasagot na doon sa chat, etc. But at the end of it all, isummarize niyo pa rin bilang HR kasi meron pong insights doon sa lahat ng nilagay at sa lahat ng pinasok sa chat box at sinagot po ng ating chatbot. Lahat po yun, may mga kasagutan, may mga conversion yon. Anong problema ng mga tao doon? May sinasabi sila. So more than the insights, let's also look for the impact as well so that we can come up with reasonable solutions that would help these people. Huwag po natin silang, balikan ko lang sinabi ni Sir talaga, let's not treat them as employees, let's treat them as human. Yun po.
Tama. And yun nga tama yun no? We have to start with ourselves, with our own department. Na minsan mismong tayo, yun nga parang sino yung HR ng HR? Tayo nga takbuhan. Sino ba pwede takbuhan natin? Tayo rin. Parang ganun. Kaya nga, at least, diba, meron tayong group kagaya nitong HR Calabarzon. And we have partners like, when we want to invest in our people, like investors in people and all that. So, ang sarap na meron kang support group. Yun yung importante.
Yes.
To have a support group.
Yeah.
Huwag mong kimkimin. Lalo na tayong mga HR, minsan ang dami nating kinaeng, pero hindi mo pwede makausap yung co-manager mo. Hindi mo naman pwede i-express sa tao mo. Diba? Kaya kumuha ka ng coach. Yun. Kumuha ka ng coach. No, you really need someone to trust. Ganun lang naman talaga. Do you have any questions from anybody? Just like what I said, raise your hand and all that. Just unmute or anything or chat. Alam nyo, Sir Jerry, ang dami nagte-thank you. So thank you, Jerry and Wawi, for engaging and inspiring takeaways. Mula kay Ms. Jesusa, Margie Santos, and then Juan Cruz III also said thank you. Alam mo, ang dami po, Sir Jerry, dito sa chat group na parang they agree with what you and Wawi have shared so far, and they also have experienced that as well, and they have very good takeaways from today. So ayun nga. So Neddy, nandito ka na. Neddy, are you here? Yeah, so Miss Annabelle, sobrang powerful po ng mga natutunan ko this afternoon. Maraming salamat daw, refreshing and engaging interaction. Grabe, wala na silang tanong.
Thank you.
Lahat sila thank you na lang po. Kasi nga parang ang dami natin napag-usap. Ako mismo po, ang dami kong ang dami kong napulot.
Ako
Yung nga
din.
pagdating nga dun sa Grow Kit, salamat Sir Jerry of reminding me that. Kasi parang maski po tayo, maski nung HR po ako, parang ang dami sobrang binigay sa akin, pero hindi ko siya na i-bundle up para maibigay ko din sa mga tao. So parang, yes, I did plan for some things, pero parang hindi ako nakapag-plan ng maayos. So it's something that I'd like to build their kit on.
Yeah.
And thank you for inspiring me with that.
If you may, can I just as a takeaway, no, parang like a brief summary,
Sige
I
po.
just want to share this very simple model. Ang tawag ko offensive and defensive HR.
Hmm.
The reason why I made I crafted this template kasi mahilig ako sa boxing, manood ng boxing natin, no? So
Sige
parang
po.
sabi ko, lalo na si Pacquiao, di ba? Paano nanalo sa Pacquiao? Magaling ba siya sa offense, sa defense ba, yung mga ganon? So I made this and I related it to HR. Sabi ko, pag itong ginagawa mo and this is what you're obsessed on, ang tawag ko 3 C's of defensive HR. These are the 3 C's. Your concern is compliance, controls, and consistency. So kung lahat ng ginagawa mo is along this 3C, you're defensive because you're trying to avoid trouble. Kasi pag hindi mo ginawa yon, you'll get into trouble, di ba? If you don't
Opo.
follow the law, kunyari, di ba, wala kang discipline, nagkagulo, you're out of control, no? But the real, parang offensive HR, kung baga you take a more offensive, are what I call 3 A's. And the 3 A's are availability, alignment, and agility. Availability, yan? That's where the talent comes in. Talent availability means you're able to attract and retain the talent that you need. That's an HR role, no? Alignment is where leadership comes in. You may have the talent, but are you leading them towards the right direction? Are you aligning them? Are you mobilizing them? Are you inspiring them to move in that direction that can deliver your strategy? And agility is about developing, and this is where the organization comes in, the right kinds of organization capabilities so that you can easily pivot depending on how the storms that you face as you travel through time. So if you can just have those, visual, madaling tandaan. So we need both, but let's not just spend 80 or 90% of our time in defensive, because if it's just defensive, we will never win. Because at the center of offensive HR is value. So when we do availability, alignment, and agility, we create value for the organization. And defensive HR is we avoid trouble. We need both, but let's make sure we have a good balance of the two. That's it.
Okay. Thank you so much, Sir Jan. Ako, yun na naman. Dami ko na naman. Ika nga, di ba? For us to be prepared for the storms. Di ba? Meron na akong payo. O, then si Neddy. Pero meron nag-chat actually. May I request for organizations that I can share my passion in human resources with? Your recommendations would really be a huge help for me. Ko, would you like to unmute? If you'd like to request organizations that I can share my passion. Dali lang ah. Sorry, can you help me with this? May I just request for organizations that I can share my passion in human resources with? Sorry, okay. So, the person's asking, for organizations that I can share my passion in human resources, your recommendations would be very huge help. Well, of course. Well, first of all, in terms of passion in human resources, we have this group, of course. And then, so Jerry, can you tell us more about Investors in People? So is it an organization that anyone can join? Ganun po ba?
Okay. Investors in People is like ISO. It's an accrediting organization. Kaya lang on the people side. So
Okay.
how investors? So this is an international standard coming from the UK. So where people get assessed versus the standard, and if they're not meeting the standard, they work ways to meet the standard. And these are about good practices. These are good practices in leading and managing people. No? So kaya nga
Oh.
pag may ISO ka, magandang meron ka ng investors in people because this is a good complementation eh. Kasi yung ISO is systems eh. That's a systems
Okay.
process, ano eh, parang audit and ano, no, accreditation. Ang investors in people is about good practices. It's ano, it's like culture change, working through the good practices of leaders. Ganon. So organizations go through this and they take a journey. They take a journey in terms of how they want to become really better. And there's an accreditation process. You become
it's supposed-
a silver awardee, you become a gold.
Okay. Is it a group thing
It's
that you join in, or?
no, it's like a consultancy group.
Okay.
Parang ISO, the ones who provide ISO like SGS, yung mga ganon, di ba?
Mhm. Yeah,
They-
yeah.
we are similar, but we're working on the people side. It's a people's international standard.
It's a people's international standard. Okay, so that's probably something we can also look at. So MCO, like, there's a lot of, well, in organizations in terms of passion. When you say passion in HR, it's more about what? How to be better for yourself and how to be better for others. Of course, diba? Parang developing yourself. That's like just like what we're doing now, diba? In terms of setting time for yourself on a Saturday, maski na Sabado, diba? Maski masarap matulog, nandito ka. Diba? Kasi you're also investing in yourself for your people. So groups like us, you have a lot of resources online and a lot of Facebook groups also. Of course, you join the right groups. Kasi yung iba, rant-rant lang pero walang suporta. O, di ba, kagaya nung sinabi ni Neddy kanina, meron tayong Viber group. Alam niyo po ba sa Viber group, maski anong tanong, may sasagot po. Maski anong tanong. Kaya you really have to have the right support aside from your team, aside from your managers. Di ba? So, okay. Wala na ba talaga magtatanong? Promise, nasagot na naman natin lahat? Okay, sige. Alright, so, we would like to now I'm gonna ask Rosie to share the screen for our certificate of appreciation.
Yeah.
Uy, pwede pang humabol ng tanong, mga kaibigan, ha?
Here we go.
Habang nandito kami. Yes, it's showing now. Can you go to the certificate for me? Yan. So HR Calabrazon Group would like to present the certificate of appreciation to Ms. Maria Rowena Roque for sharing her invaluable knowledge and expertise as a panelist for the 99th HRE Knowledge entitled 2024 HR Trends via Zoom and Facebook Live given on this 27th day of January 2024. Thank you very much, Ms. Weng Roque, for your time. Salamat po, ha?
Thank you as well.
Thank you,
for
thank you.
having
Super
me.
engaging. Okay. Okay, and of course, we would like to truly appreciate Mr. Jerry Plana for sharing his invaluable knowledge and expertise as a resource speaker for the 99th HRE Knowledge for 2024 HR Trends given on this 27th day of January 2024. Alam niyo po, Mr. Jerry, maraming salamat po. This is something very different from what we have had here na talagang panel discussion all the way, pero super sarap kasi ang dami po naming na-pick up, ang dami po naming takeaways na oo nga, marami kami mga aha moments. And may mga moments din kami na parang, wow, it's not just me. Di ba? I'm sure marami po kayong nadaanan na ganon. So, ayun nga.
Ma'am
So,
Maria, can we have
yes.
picture taking, please?
Yes, please. Okay, cool. Baka pwede naman makita naman po natin yung ating participants. Mag-on naman kayo ng camera.
Yes, we are requesting
Diba?
our participant to please open their video so we could have
Open
a mandatory
naman.
picture taking with Sir Jerry and Ma'am Wawi. Gusto ko sana isama si Sir Francis kung sa picture ka. So, busy siya. Yan. Ma'am Rasi, can you please do help us in taking picture taking, please? Kahit so nakapin kasi sila, sir. Pari mo lang po ng pin. again, while doing our picture taking, we would like, in behalf of the HR Calabarzon Board of Director, we would like to thank again Sir Jerry for having you here today in our first HRE Knowledge for 2024. Talaga naman po pasok na pasok at talagang marami po kami natutunan para sa mga makabago for HR 2024. And also, we would like to thank Ma'am Wawi. Thank you po sa pag-accommodate sa amin na makasama namin kayo with Sir Jerry for today's
Thank you.
webinar. Thank you po. So, ma'am, pwede na tayo
Thank
mag-picture?
you.
Ganda na, ha?
Alright.
Sa gallery. Okay.
Okay. All right. So, for the page 1, we count of 1, 2, 3, smile. Okay. Then for the next page, right? 1, 2, 3, smile. All right. Okay. That will be all.
Okay po. Ma'am Rasi, please share our screen again. Muli po sa mga ka-HR natin na gustong mag-avail ng e-certificate, ang ating pong link or ating QR code ay ipa-flash po natin sa ating screen. At sa lahat din po ng gustong sumali sa ating survivor group, we will post the link in the Facebook and YouTube para rin po sa mga kaibigan natin, mga ka-HR dyan. Please do subscribe at HR Calabarzon para po mas malaman niyo pa ang maraming ipapakita, ipapaalam at ipapabatid ng HR Calabarzon. Muli po sa mga kasamahan naming mga ka-HR sa North and South Luzon, maraming salamat po sa pagsama sa amin at sa pagtangkilik sa HR Calabarzon. Magkita-kita po tayo next week and next week with PhilHealth para po sa ating mga katanungan, lalo na sa pag-increase ng ating contribution this year. Muli po mga ka-HR, maraming salamat at magandang hapon po. Bye po. Good afternoon.
Thank you so much, everybody. See you next
Thank you.
time.
Thank you.
Thank you po.
Thank you, Ma'am Wawi.
Thanks for
Thank you so
watching.
much. Thanks,
Jerry.
Neds. Thank you. Nice to meet you all. Thank you.
Thank you, Sir Jerry.
And of course, thank you. I know you guys are busy networking, connecting, but we're back and we're gonna start again the second half.